Okay, so I'm starting off on round 4. Nick's going to do fairly good this round. He's gonna get flashed over long, get the frag. Thumping wasn't flashed, but he got the frag regardless. He's gonna push into bathrooms. If you notice, bomb just got dropped in party. Throws a grenade. I don't know if you just had if you had a feeling that source live audio was hiding there, or if you thought somebody was around the corner. But there's some good game sense. And then Potato dives from both ways and bombs down, and you have a teammate on long. So what? It's 2v4. It'll be in your best interest to fall back, regroup with the teammate, and try and get to the bomb another way, probably through party, or you can go long way around a site if you want to be a little unpredictable. But instead he pushes towards Slam, and Slam's ready for him. Or they got 2, so he gets traded, I think. Yeah, he gets traded. Alright, so here we are, round 6. Nick got mollied off Monster. He's going to peek Dry Peek. Now he does have 2 flashbangs, he could have used one of them, so he isn't just peeking, exposing himself. But he throws a grenade and he sees the guy that was barrels, and because he had his grenade out, all he could do was kind of try and hide. For future reference, it's kind of hard when you're freaking out, I understand, but you know, with adrenaline pumping. But instead of throwing your grenade, you could have just switched to your AK, and then you would have still had the HE grenade. And then you make another mistake here, using that smoke. Now that smoke could have been used for Heaven, and you still have 2 flashes. If you used it earlier, you still would have had 1 flash. You could have flashed out, and then that would also help the people on in construction push, and then you could throw the smoke into Heaven, and it would have been more beneficial that way. So he throws the smoke. And I think we end up winning this round regardless, but that smoke could have been used more wisely, and so could have the flashbangs. Okay, so this round, nothing bad. I just want to show that you can still do good for the team, even if all you do is just die. So he starts pushing up here, flashbang comes out, so somebody is either going to be peeking or pushing. And here he comes on the right side of the smoke. You can see his toes peeking out. Catches Nick off guard, gets the easy frag just because he surprised him. But Potato's ready to trade him back, and then Slam trades Potato, and then I trade Slam, and then that ends up making it a 3v3, and we end up winning the round off that. Okay, so this round, it's going to be a mistake I see a lot on our team, and just in lower level play in general. Nick's pushing out Monster again. There's flash being thrown over. Now, he keeps his crosshair on barrels and starts clearing sight. Normally when you're, just a quick note, normally when you're right here you want to keep the crosshair down low, because they'll come from water and you'll just see their head pop up on the floor. But you see Danny comes here, throws that Molotov. So right now Danny is pulling out his AK. He does not have, he doesn't have it ready to shoot yet. And then Nick pulls out the HE grenade, and because he pulls it out, Danny isn't even able to cover Nick's butt, and it ends up killing Nick. So because you knew that Danny was still pulling out his gun, you should have left your gun out, until he was ready, if that makes sense. Maybe just wait a second or more longer. Okay, so here's a this kill is just a lesson on when you should know when to fall back. So Nick is keeping his eyes on connector, and eventually that CT peeks through. He misses the first whiff. He peeks way too wide and then dies. Now, if anything, he should have peeked close, went for went for the shot and then went back. You would have had a higher survivability rate. Or, if anything, just fall back after you lose the fight. You did, shoot him twice, and he's going to waste time thinking you're still there. But it's not really something I can blame you for, because, I think that's a mistake we all make, but something to keep an eye out next time you play. Sometimes it's better to fall back after you miss a couple shots. Okay, so here we are in round 10, and we just got a couple picks, connector and fountain. So we're about to execute a site. If you notice, Potato and Nick still have utility left. And as we push up, we will use the smokes. However, nobody will use the flashbangs. And we do wait until we're already on site to throw the smokes. Even though we already know there's 99% likely going to be one on either truck or dumpster. And then, just because that's where you rotate. And then, also, if we threw the flashes over onto site before we pushed in, number 5 here probably would have been flashed, and he wouldn't have been able to kill Danny Boy. But regardless, we take the site. Okay, so this round ends up falling apart. I just want to point out something that Nick does that's really good that I rarely ever see. So he's throwing the smoke, and then Chip's pushing up with the op. And you'll see Nick is going to... Nick sees Chip smoking and knows if Chip takes a shot, he's going to want to fall back behind the wall. So he walks around him and lets the opper back instead of just body blocking him. And I see body blocking happen a lot. That was a really good play on Nick. Really good play by Nick, but however we end up losing the round due to taking too long to get on the site. See, they're already flanking us and they're already on site. There's nothing, we have a disadvantage at that point. Okay. Here's another round where you'll see Nick throw the smoke out monster into right here, where it could have done more work either going into heaven or going onto site. But we end up getting the site regardless. And then one more thing I want to point out that Nick seems to already know. I just want to point out so everybody else knows. If they smoke off the tube in monster, you have to be aware that there could always be somebody hiding on the right side. But you see that smoke's kind of in a not so helpful position. If it was up on site or up in heaven, it would have helped us be safer on site. Now the opper whiffs his shot regardless, but it would have helped. Okay, so this round I want to go over some basic game sense. You see all the team besides Nick is pushing long. He Molotovs off connector so he doesn't have to worry about it for a while. Now, he hasn't mollied off, but he should know the molly's going to go away, and he's taking his sweet time so he doesn't really get too far until the Molotov goes away. And he even saw it fade, so he should know that there's a CT. There's probably a CT waiting to go up there, but there's actually 2. And they end up flanking behind us. Okay, so here we see Nick is in fountain going down connector, and we also have a teammate pushing up T-side connector, and this guy Slam with the Mag 7 is hiding in the corner somewhere in connector. Now, as Danny went around this corner, Nick should have went around this corner, and if they both peeked at the same time, there's nothing that Slam could have been able to do. He would only be able to kill one of them. But because Nick is slow to react to that, he ends up getting a free kill. So, see, Nick comes down to shoot at him, but he's too late. This is later on the same round. You'll see there's a whole team mistake. The same mistake we make earlier. We're going to use Molotovs and smoke grenades to get on site, but nobody throws a single flashbang out, and the guy who is on dumpster is able to get a kill onto Nick. So if that could have been avoided if somebody were to just throw a flashbang over. Now, none of us have flashbangs, but we all have enough money for it. It is kind of late in the round, so maybe we used them up already. But if that's the case, then we should have smoked it off. At least bank and dumpster. We didn't smoke dumpster off. Okay. Here's a simple mistake. As you can see, we already got info that they were in fountain. We know none of them are in monster. We know none of them are in connector or water construction. So we start rotating around towards fountain, and we kind of have them trapped, so to speak. So there's no reason to be too aggressive, and he ends up being a little too aggressive and ends up getting him killed. You'll see here he's going to peek into this long open angle with the MP9, but the guy that kills him isn't far away, I don't think. Yeah, he's right there, but still we know where they are and we have all their exits blocked off, and there would have been not much they could have done because only one person has grenades, but because you push, that opens up entry into the site. So if you were just stay back near bathrooms or car, then they wouldn't have the opportunity to take site as easily. Okay, so this round the mistake was we just gave up map control for no reason. Chip gets flashed in, gets the pick. Alright, and then Nick throws a Molotov, and then they run all the way back to site. Now Nick could have stayed like right here in bathrooms and watched fountain, or on the other side of this wall and watched fountain and playground, and then fell back when he either got the pick or whiffed his shot. But instead, both the Opper or Chip and Nick fall back, and then that kind of puts me in a weird position. Puts Slippy Snippy, because I'm playing connector, and if they push fountain, I have no other option but to either just wait for them to like go past and be bathroom, or I have to rotate all the way around through B to A. But if you were to play fountain, I would be able to support and help better. Okay, so here we are in round 24. There's a T that's about to push into party. Nice flick, but there's a T that's about to push into party. There he is. Now, when you're peeking party, it's better to peek it from the right side, and then when you're peeking the fountain part, it's better to peek it from the left, and you'll see why in a second. Peeks party from the right side, and you see how the only position he's exposed to is party. Now, when he tries to peek the guy on the left, he's looking at party, but there's also this angle, and this guy's able to catch him off guard and take advantage of Nick's positioning. So Nick did get some good shots off, but his positioning let him down in that round. Alright, so here Nick is watching bathrooms as usual, and you'll see there's some action going on B. There's been one guy killed, two guys killed now. So Nick decides to fall back. Now, bomb has not been spotted, and there's only one out monster so far, and so Nick really has no reason to fall back or try to rotate, because he can still rotate fast from here by going down connector. So going back through to CT stairs isn't going to allow him to rotate any faster than playing up closer to bathrooms and Fountainwood. And because he falls back, this guy is able to push out into bathrooms with number 4 too. They're able to take control of bathrooms without any resistance and without our team even knowing about it. So we end up staying on B way too long. Whereas if he were standing right here, he would have got, at the very least, saw the bomb and died, and then we would know to rotate somebody up connector, and then rotate somebody connector, and somebody would attempt to get to CT stairs.